So, I got my boom plays, my sleepers, and streamers for week 3 coming at you right now. Now, first up for my boom play. Now, hear me out on this one. He was very underwhelming these last 2 weeks, but man, he found the end zone. Kyle Pitts going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, he has the layup matchup. Hopefully, he could deliver, but this matchup just screams value here, being a boom play for week 3. The Chiefs are allowing the most fantasy points per game to tight ends right now, and the most receiving yards to tight ends right now. So, this is an opportunity for Kirk Cousins and Kyle Pitts to make the connection, to be solid, and keep this momentum for the rest of the season with this layup matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, for my next boom play for week 3, it goes to Derrick Henry against this Dallas Cowboys defense. Now, I understand back-to-back weeks he's played less than 50% of the snaps, and it's okay. Doesn't need to be on the field as much as he was in Tennessee because he's still going to produce. And this is the layup matchup against the Dallas Cowboys, who've been very generous to running backs these last 2 weeks, where they have the second highest rushing EPA, which means these drives are turning into scoring drives for running backs because right now they're allowing the most rushing touchdowns to running backs so far this season. Now I got a couple of streaming options for you guys, and the first one up is Jonnu Smith. Now, we all know that scary situation down there in Miami with Tua, so Skylar Thompson's going to be able to get the first licks, and how this offense is going to be looking, I'm not quite sure, but I know passes are going to be short, close line of scrimmage, and this is where Jonnu Smith, along with those running backs in Miami, to be the guys to make something out of nothing after the catch, and that is Jonnu Smith's specialty. I understand that Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle are there, but my big play expectations have lowered on them to where Jonnu Smith becomes a security blanket with some speed on him and the ability to turn upfield and get to where you need to be to keep these drives alive and possibly fall in the end zone. So Jonnu Smith, if you're worried about your David Njoku or Jake Ferguson or any other tight end you're not quite sure for, my hat is on Jonnu Smith being a great tight end option that you can stream in week 3. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. I am a Rams fan, but man, if you have a wide receiver with a helmet, a name, and cleats, and he is on a professional NFL field, and he's going up against the Rams defense, you start them. Jawan Jennings is a nice plug-and-play streaming option this week if you're dealing with injuries at the wide receiver position. Going up against this Rams defense, man, they allow anything and everything that you want and possibly want to do against this defense, man. They're going to be allowing some big plays where Jawan Jennings brings that across the middle, or even as a deep threat where he has 14.4 yards per reception. And with Deebo Samuel out, I see Jawan Jennings stepping up to be a guy that can have a decent target share, and it's a great matchup against a very, very bad Rams secondary. Now, for my sleeper for week 3 is a Dallas Cowboys. Now, I understand that Jake Ferguson is back at practice, but Jaylen Tolbert looked good last week when he stepped up. His snap percentage from week 1 increased from 66% to all the way to 84%, which was a higher snap percentage than Brandon Cooks. Because Brandon Cooks, he looks cooked. So Jaylen Tolbert is a guy that I think can step up as a sneaky sleeper this week, going up against this Ravens defense who allow the most passing yards, and they allow the most completions of 20-plus yards. And this is where he brings that big dynamic speed where he can play a deep threat in the middle of the field and making himself available to Dak Prescott and this Dallas Cowboys offense, likely to be able to drive downfield against this banged up Ravens defense in the pass game. So this wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys are liking and subscribing, and please make sure you guys leave a comment below of your start and sit questions. I'll try to answer them all the way up until game time. So you guys can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.